Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently running a pretty solid surplus right now. That's because we of course just finished our war with China and the US. We managed to win the war and we took over Korea. So that brought our population up pretty sharply. That's great, but we're going to have some radicalism, no doubt about it, and that's going to be a very interesting thing, for sure. So we're going to need to start incorporating... Hang on, no, I don't want to stop incorporating Australia. We're going to need to incorporate Korea here. That puts us at minus 1.83k bureaucracy. That is noted and unsurprising. So we're going to go for taxation capacity here. Wow, we need a lot. Okay, so each of these is 15. So we're going to add in 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because we're going for, let's see, 15? 15 taxation capacity, right. So 2 is 30, 3 is 45, so we need 4 here. 4 here, this would then be 60, 75, okay, something like that. And then for these up here, this is going to be a lot. So this is going to be 6 for 75. Hang on, I'm just going to pull up a calculator. 178 divided by 15 is 12. Okay, that's way easier than trying to calculate it in my head. So let's see here. Oh, this is getting a lot. Okay, we'll build 12 here. What is 421? That was 412. Hang on, let me try this again. Clear. There we go. 421 divided by 15 is 29. Okay, because we're rounding this. So that seems good. We'll need 29 here. That'll definitely solve our bureaucracy problem. We've also got 438 here, so 438 divided by 15 is 29.2, so we would need 30 here. Okay. We'll queue up 30. And then for our last location, 554 divided by 15 is 37. Okay, so we'll need 37 there for right now. We'll get that all underway. We're then going to need some infrastructure. Okay, so infrastructure is, of course, high priority work here. And in Chubu, this is good. We don't need anything here. Each of these is 20 infrastructure, so we'll need 1 in each of these locations. In Chubu, there's currently 3 being built, so I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, something along these lines. I wonder if they're going to immediately secede, the way that Australia did. That'll be interesting, for sure. Now everybody's pretty angry at us. We also have some extra construction that we got from this. That's okay. We'll keep that around for now. So we're currently notorious at 89.8. We'll have to wait for that to go down a bit. Italy declared us their rival. Hilarious. And for the moment, that is absolutely fine. These are very low construction efficiency, which doesn't really surprise me in any meaningful way. We may want to consider moving the naval bases up, actually, just to give that time to drop down. So let's do that for now. We're going to get these all built, and they'll get built eventually. Okay, there's a resolution to enact racial segregation. That is really, really high on the radicalism. I'm not surprised about that. Now, do we want to enact racial segregation? I'm not sure on that one. So for the moment, yeah, automatic machine guns are fine. For the moment, we'll just move all of these up. I do want to get these naval bases done. What is exactly going to rebel here in this revolution? I see that it's only the trade unions that are involved here. So with that being the case, we're just about done moving up these naval bases. There we go. That'll do. So with that being the case, who all is going to secede here? Shikoku, Shikoku, Chubu. Honestly, that might be okay, but are we actually opposed to racial segregation? We're on national supremacy right now. So we would end up losing 50 authority. That's manageable. And we would have less effect from standard of living in accepted cultures. I see. I think it's fine. We can do that, and we can work towards making... What is the culture out over here? Population... Korean culture. We can work towards making this be an accepted culture. So that's definitely something that we can work on. Yeah, I think this is reasonably fine. It's not ideal necessarily, but I don't think there's a significant issue with it. So for now, that's okay. And if we make Korean accepted, then there's just no problem there, right? So we would like to do that. Let's see here. Korean is currently not accepted, obviously. The question is, has a 0.3% chance every week to start a secession movement due to being a non-primary culture with high turmoil. Yes. So Japanese is currently a primary culture. Is there a way to move towards accepting the Korean culture? Because that's a significant population, right? We'll see. This is their current political strength and their current turmoil. Indeed. So it's a very small chance every week to start up a secession movement. Noted. These are currently... I'm wondering here, there must be a way to work towards not discriminating against particular cultures, right? Like, if we wanted to discriminate against Korean, that's fine. There must be a way to choose which ones we want to discriminate, not discriminate against, like the accepted cultures in Europa. I'm assuming. That may not be the case. Okay, this religion is not discriminated. They're the same religion. But yeah, the culture is discriminated. So the question is, how can we work towards that? Well, assimilation would be, I think, the way to ultimately do it, most likely. So that would end up meaning that we would want to go for... Where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. Promote national values. That would be the one. We would need to have assimilating or converting pops. Obviously, we don't have the authority to spend it right now. We can drop our emergency relief in Hokkaido for the moment, just to bring that back to positive. So that'll be fine. We're going to get these naval bases concluded before we get to work on the railways and government administrations, just because we need to have the construction efficiency drop there, right? And that's fine. Our radicalism is slowly ticking downwards. It's kind of grim, though. We'll see how that ends up going. So these naval bases will get finished. How are we doing for taxation? Okay, we should definitely consider dropping taxes fairly soon, but I think that now is not the exact moment for that. We do see some market access issues. Chubu, Western Australia, Northern Territory, and of course some Korean territories here. So that's not shocking. Enact total separation? Well, that'd be rude. Okay, for now, we're going to take a quick look here. Yeah, those will all need to be dealt with. No doubt about that. A secession in the Pacific coast? Oh, okay. Have fun with that, US. For now, that's reasonably fine. And we definitely want to get these naval bases finished. There's not that many more pages of them, 11 pages, and they do build quite quickly. So I think that's reasonably fine. Ah, right. We're going to have to... I completely forgot about this. We're going to have to reset production methods here. Let's make those production methods aligned. There we go. And now one thing to ask is, what do we have for population here? So we have a decent number of peasants and unemployed. Noted. Okay. Also one thing to ask, how's the literacy out over here? Can we see that? Not really? Okay. I'm not sure how that literacy is. We'll see. For now, these naval bases are going to get finished up. That is the highest priority. Actually, we can see the literacy here, right? We can definitely see it somewhere. I've forgotten where. Information? Yeah, 36.1, 55, 20... Okay, so the literacy here is mediocre. We'll definitely work on that, though, with our public schools. So that's not a concern. So racial segregation is okay. We could work down towards like multiculturalism eventually, but I mean, this is a step down on the ladder from national supremacy, right? National supremacy is cultures will be accepted based on shared heritage cultural trait. Right. So it's just automatic based on your laws. That's right. So a heritage cultural trait with any primary cultures. So we don't actually need to share a cultural trait. It'll be a heritage cultural trait. So they might actually become accepted from this. I'm not sure. Media endorsements are occurring, and that's great. We'll accept that. Seems fine to me. Cool. So these naval bases are actually progressing quite speedily. We're not shocked about that. We've got a bunch of government administrations that need to get built, though. And, I mean, we've already had our construction efficiency here improve quite a lot. It's 61 rather than the 85% reduction. So that's good. We could enact no colonial affairs, and that's not necessarily the worst of ideas either. Now, we are running a bit of a deficit right now. There's threshing machines unlocked, though, and we could definitely go in and get ourselves steam-powered threshing machines, and I think that's a good thing to do right now. So we'll do that for the moment. Is there anything else that we need in here for production methods? Well, textile mills can go to elastics, but again, we're lacking rubber. We definitely should come off of bicycle messengers. We do have access to machine gunners, and let's do that for the moment in place of bicycle messengers. We don't have a source of rubber right now, so that's something that we can definitely remove. However, we do have some rubber coming in via trades, and I think we might be able to get away with elastics in textile mills. We'll see if that's a thing or not. I'm not 100% on that. Rotary valve engines for our arms industries and munitions plants would definitely be good. We're going to get that going. All of these changes may cause us some issues here in terms of shortages. Okay. Yep, that is a rubber shortage. So we're going to move back to craftsman sewing for our textile mills. Beyond that, that'll be fine. So this trade route importing rubber is inactive. That is to be expected. We just need a source of rubber, right? So that'll be important for us. For now, we don't have a source of rubber, but that's fine. So let's get all of these naval bases constructed, and then we'll get back to work on our other constructions. That's the idea for now. We are slightly negative financially at this moment. An agitator has appeared for total separation. Okay, total separation is down here. That's probably okay. I don't really care too much about that. So that would be reasonably fine if they force that through. I'm not convinced that they will. We are running a deficit at this moment, of course, and that's to be expected, to be honest. Coal is currently expensive, and we should have some sources of coal from Korea. So that would be absolutely great. Yes, indeed. Of course, in Hokkaido and Sakhalin, things are still ticking along, very slowly, but ticking along nevertheless. We're getting some decent migration there. We have some population in here at least. How are we doing for our infrastructure over here? It looks okay. Let's get rid of this road maintenance for the time being. I would prefer to have the authority here just for the enactment time, but we can probably put that to better use with a different decree if we so choose. In fact, something along the lines of promoting national values might not be bad, although we can only really do that in Sakhalin, Hokkaido, and Australia. We cannot do that in Korea at this moment. So that seems fine. Sure. We're going to get these naval bases built. Then we're going to build our government administrations, but we do have a bunch of additional locations that we can build barracks and naval bases, right? These are primarily in Korea, but we'll get those queued up. That'll be fine. And we're going to have a bunch of maintenance work to do there before we actually get these built. But that's completely acceptable. We definitely expect that, and let's just get these queued up for the moment. Those are a back burner sort of thing. Cool. So how are we doing on our current naval base construction? We should be pretty close to done with that. Yeah, we're down to 5 pages here. Looks good. Make that 4 pages, actually. So we're cruising through these naval bases, no problem whatsoever there. Coal is currently a little bit expensive, and we've got some standard of living issues. We primarily need to solve our financial issue, but that's actually not that big of a deal. I want to check in, what are we putting into welfare? Yeah, that's pretty expensive right now. That's not surprising. I'm expecting that Korea is currently receiving a lot of welfare. Let's see here. So if we look at these struggling pops here in Korea, Yeah, 34.8% of them are receiving welfare payments. That's expected. Okay, so that should solve itself over time. As we get them more integrated, as we get Korea built up, that should be reasonably fine. I'm not too concerned about that. So our naval bases are proceeding nicely. There's only about a page and a half of them left. We're almost done with them now. So that's looking absolutely solid. We are running a small deficit, and we do currently have some bureaucratic issues, although that's gotten better, and I'm surprised by that. Why has that improved? That's very interesting. Should we go to secular administration? No, looks like. Okay, noted. So that's very interesting. Why has that improved? Have things gotten better on the taxation capacity front? The answer is no. Okay, so it's just on the bureaucratic front. We still need to build all of these. Noted. So we're building our last 2 naval bases in this round of naval base construction. We probably want to consider dropping our greener grass campaign up in Sakhalin for now, as well as our emergency relief up here. That'll save us a little bit of money. Things are still going to be rough up here. We're not seeing any actual migration up into Sakhalin. Okay, that's noted. Okay, there it is. It just had to recalculate. So no problem there. We're running a small surplus, and we'll work on paying down our debt. That's not a huge focus, but it'll definitely be a thing that we're interested in doing. Cool. We're going to have the end of the game relatively soon, but as I said, we're going to be proceeding beyond that for a while. We've got plenty of headroom here. We're going to be going beyond the end of the game until it feels like we shouldn't anymore. And the answer to when that will be is kind of a nebulous one, but we'll see when it feels like we've outstayed our welcome. And that's when we'll stop. Maybe when we, like, max out the tech tree or something. Which we're a ways away from. I want to point that out. So we're definitely continuing to work on literacy. That's going to get better in Korea as well. Racial segregation is currently in consideration, and the question is, will this actually make them share a hereditary culture with us? So I want to take a look in the cultures here. In the Korean culture. So looking at this right now, they're discriminated currently. They have East Asian heritage. But so do we. So I think they will actually be accepted at that point. A lot of these will. Not the Aboriginals. And not the Australians. The Han, I believe, will be. Probably not the Siberians. But I think that the... probably not the Ainu either. But I think that the Korean and the Han will become accepted, which will be the vast majority of the nation. Which, that would be a good thing, ultimately. We would be happy about that. So this has proceeded to ascent. It seems reasonably fine. We do have a while on these government administrations. They are still slow, minus 40% construction efficiency. That's still improving, but it will take some time. No doubt about that. And then we've got all those barracks again. But we'll definitely get to work on other things. Those are a lower priority. We'll get them done eventually. I want to check in on our unemployment numbers. 6.51 million. Okay. So that's definitely something that we need to deal with, right? There's a significant amount of that going on, and we need to construct. So that is, of course, what we're doing. We're going to get a bunch of government administrations built here, but the reduction in construction efficiency is painful. We may want to consider running, just for purposes of helping that, running violent suppression. That will reduce the state penalties from turmoil. That said, the turmoil is improving. Just because of the incorporation. Wow, only 3 years to incorporate them? They're going to be incorporated before Australia. Fascinating. Okay, that's cool. We're fine with that. No problem whatsoever. So I want to check in on our military strength here. We're currently Great Power 5. And of course, we're sacking our prestige right now with our government wages. If we were to bring those up, that would actually be better, probably. I want to check our current ranking here in prestige. Yeah, we could probably pass Russia, the French Republic, even. I doubt we'd pass the US and Britain immediately, but Yeah, that would be definitely a thing that we could do. In theory. I think that money is better spent paying down our debt right now. Yeah, the interest isn't that bad, but I would like to have that extra 31k per month. That would be nice. And we would love to cut taxes as well. Cutting taxes would be huge. So we're definitely putting a lot of money into our barracks, no doubt about that. I want to check in on our goods for military buildings right now. Ammunition. Okay, so dropping the price of ammunition would be good. What's in our private constructions right now? Okay. Fair enough. That seems okay. I don't think we need to worry about that at this moment. So right now, getting these government administrations done is a fairly high priority. If we look at how many unrealized taxes we have here at 164k, that seems pretty worthwhile. Now, a lot of that is due to uncollected taxes, but a lot of it is, even more of it, about 2/3 of it, is due to tax waste. That's a bit of a problem. We'll need to handle that. That's mostly just bringing down radicalism, right? So that's okay. We're going to get this racial segregation through, hopefully on this tick. We're quite content with that, actually. And dropping radicalism would be great. Radicalism is definitely creeping up, and it's basically half the country right now that's radicalized. So we definitely do need to deal with that. So racial segregation has come through, and that now means, yep, as expected, Korean and Han are now accepted culture types. So that should immediately start dropping the cultural turmoil. That's great. We're really, really pleased with that. Anarchism has been unlocked, and do we want to swap over to anything interesting in the government? No, all of these have shogunate in them, and we need to get the honorable restoration done, right? So that's going to be another 19 months. Seems fine. Do we want to do no colonial affairs or total separation? Maybe. I think there's no point in having colonial affairs at this point. We could definitely do this. There's a lot of people opposed to it, though. Okay, we maybe don't want to do that. Yeah, that would radicalize the Buddhists. So let's not do that one for right now. We definitely do see a precipitous drop in radicalism from going to cultural exclusion. That seems fine. I don't think that was the name of that, but whatever. We have some newly formed parties. We're going to have an election here in 6 months, and currently the Constitutional Reform Party is winning it, and we don't love that because the shogunate are involved. Can we swap off of hereditary bureaucrats? No, we would need the intelligentsia. It would radicalize the petite bourgeoisie. I'm not sure how much we care about the petite bourgeoisie here, so I don't think that that's a huge deal. We'll wait until after the election and see what we can do there. So that'll be fine. Korea is under our control now, and it doesn't look like they're going to be rebelling anytime soon. The turmoil here is continuing to drop on down, and we're getting more and more efficient with our constructions there. It is definitely going to be slow. We are not going to help the Constitutional Reform Party if we can help it. This is the least amount of help we can give them, which is sad. I would have preferred no help whatsoever. We don't want to help the shogunate. Not when we've got this so close. So close. It's not going to end before the end of the war due to needing to be at peace, but that's fine. Or rather, end of the game, I should say. End of the game is going to be, is that January 1st, 1936? It's going to be very, very soon. Again, this is not the end of this series. Okay, so there's a revolution to enact no colonial affairs. With the petite bourgeoisie helping, or rather assisting it? I guess the petite bourgeoisie are now endorsing this. Okay. Well, we'll work on it. It's fine. It's actually completely fine. So if we pass this, how many people would this make loyal? Yes, this is the end of the game. We know this. We're continuing playing as the Japanese shogunate. Okay, so how many people would this make loyal? It says in here somewhere, but I forget what we have to highlight. Is it this one? Okay, 5 million? That's 10% of our radicals. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, we'd be pretty happy with that. Now, one thing I've noticed is that the music tends to get a lot less after the game ends. I'm not sure why that's the case, but whatever. Cool. So we're going to continue these constructions. They will be done relatively soon. But like I said, we're going to keep going for a while after this game ends. So that's absolutely fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.